Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be talking to you about the SAT and the ACT. Stick around till the end to figure out which one is the better choice for you. Firstly, let's start off with an overall time comparison. Now the SAT is 3 hours long and the ACT is 2 hours 55 minutes long. Now both of these time frames are without the breaks and excluding the ACT optional essay. Now that we see that both the tests are comparable in time length, let's go on to a comparison of the sections of the test. Now the SAT has two parts which are again divided into two smaller sections. The first section is the English section or the evidence-based reading and writing section, the EBRW. Now this has two subsections, which is the reading and the writing. The reading has 52 questions to be completed in 65 minutes and the writing has 44 questions to be completed in 35 minutes. The other part of the SAT is the math section, which has two subsections, the calculator component and the no calculator component. The no calculator component has 20 questions to be completed in 25 minutes and the calculator section has 38 questions to be completed in 55 minutes. Now the ACT has four sections. Now the English section has 75 questions to be answered in 45 minutes. The math section has 60 questions to be answered in 60 minutes. The reading section has 40 questions to be answered in 35 minutes. And the science section again has 40 questions to be answered in 35 minutes. So right off the bat, we see that the SAT has fewer questions to be answered in around the same amount of time. Now let's look at the differences in the sections between the SAT and the ACT. Now the SAT and ACT are similar in the English reading and writing section, but the only thing that differs slightly is the time management, as the ACT English section is a lot more fast-paced than the SAT. I will talk about this later on in the video. Now the math section, even though the SAT and the ACT have differences in the way they categorize questions and in the way they ask the questions, all of the core concepts and the formulae are the same. The SAT has both a calculator and a no calculator component, but the ACT allows a calculator on all the complete math section. Now, here comes the science section of the ACT. Now, since the SAT doesn't have a science section, I would be talking about the ACT science section in specific right now. Now, many of the students who haven't taken science majorly in high school shy away from the ACT simply because of the science section. But the strange thing is that only a basic introductory knowledge of science is required to answer almost every single question on the ACT. There is no memorization and no recall of specific scientific facts and figures, and no formula is needed to be memorized to take the test. It is basically a test of your scientific aptitude where everything you need to know to answer the question is given to you on the question or on the test. Now the SAT is scored on a curve relative to test takers around you, and the ACT is scored on a curve relative to the difficulty of the questions on the test. Now this is almost irrelevant because the content of the test and how you answer the questions on the test is a lot more important than the grading curve. Now the SAT is scored on a scale from 400 to 1600, where 400 is the lowest score you could get and 1600 is the highest. And the ACT is scored on a scale of 1 to 36, where 1 is the lowest score you could get and the highest is 36. Now that we know the basic information about the SAT and the ACT, let me talk about the key differences in the test. This will help you make a decision whether you want to take the SAT or the ACT. Now, a key difference between the ACT English section and the SAT Writing and Language section is that the ACT English section contains a lot more questions than the SAT one. Now, the ACT English section requires to answer 75 questions in 45 minutes. This provides students on average around 36 seconds per question. Now, contrast this with the SAT Writing and Language section, which has 44 questions in 35 minutes. This equates to around 48 seconds per question. It's almost 1.5 times the amount of time per question. So, as US News put it very well, the ACT benefits students who read rapidly and efficiently. More passages and more questions in a shorter period of time means more information to review and analyze, again in a shorter period of time. Meanwhile, the SAT benefits students who prefer to work more slowly and more analytically. So if you think that you fit into either of these sections, you should probably lean towards that test. Now, if you haven't gotten a clear idea of the tests so far and you would want to figure out which one you want to take, I suggest taking both of the tests without much preparation on either one. This will help you figure out which one is easier for you and which one you like better, and in the end, which one you would score better on, as each person tends to score differently on both of the tests. Now, thank you for watching till the end. If you found this video informative, please like and share it, and also subscribe to my channel. Now, if you have any other questions about either of these tests or about the complete university application process, drop any of your questions down in the comment section, and I will see you all in my next video.